Jessie, and today I kind of wanted to talk to you about something that I've been thinking about a lot lately, and that is my tips for how to read more, but specifically how to read more as a mom, because I feel like it can get a little sticky and a little more difficult to just prioritize that time when you have other people relying on you literally for everything in their entire lives. So I wanted to kind of give you my tips, what I do, how I do it, and just kind of sit and chit chat with you. So hopefully you enjoy this type of video, and let's get into it. So first and foremost, I just want you to know I had a 7-year reading slump. I did an entire video on getting over reading slumps, talking about my 7 years that I did not read while my kids were young, and I got my bachelor's and master's degree. So just know, reading slumps are okay. Not reading is okay. And I'm not here to tell you like, oh my God, you need to read and get over it. No, because that's not my life or my journey. Like, it's not. Like I said, didn't read anything, not a single page that wasn't for school in like 7 years. So it's a thing. But I decided I did want to prioritize some time to read, and I always loved reading as a kid and before I had kids, so I just really wanted to get back into it. And I think that's, tip number 1. Know that you actually want to do it, because if you don't, then don't. I am never going to tell you to do something you don't want to do. And if reading doesn't sound fun to you, then don't do it. Okay? Nobody's making you do it. It doesn't pay your bills, right? Maybe. I don't know. Maybe it does. Maybe reading pays your bills, and that I need to know how you do that. But yeah, just know you want to get back into it for you, because it's something you want as a hobby. My kids were older when I got back into reading, so prioritizing that time while they were babies was very, very difficult for me. I really think that had I been into audiobooks at the time, I think that would have been really beneficial, because I don't know about you, my kids were up all the time in the middle of the night as babies. Like, they were both breastfed, and I co-slept, and they would just wake up and I would have to roll over and feed them, or, get up or whatever, change a diaper. And I feel like I would be up for like, an hour or so, getting them calmed back down, fed, back to bed. So I think an audiobook would have been perfect at that time, right? I found myself just scrolling my phone. Just scrolling, just Facebook, Instagram, whatever. And that was just kind of what I did. So if I would have made it a habit to listen to an hour of an audiobook, or even to read on my phone. I can't really read on my phone. The print's too small, it hurts my eyes. But these things are things that you can do when yours is a little baby, if that's what you want to do. I can't handle audiobooks. I literally cannot remember a single line. I would have to go back over and over and over. I'm a very visual person. I have to see it in order to absorb it. Like, I can't just listen to something and absorb the information. So it's just a me thing, but it might not, that might be the best for you, right? Audiobooks are great when you're multitasking or doing dishes. Like, I'm gonna try again. I'm gonna continue trying audiobooks until it works for me, dang it. But yeah, audiobooks are great for moms specifically, because we're always multitasking, right? We're always doing 17 things at once. And it's really nice to just have that, because I'll listen to music or whatever. But yeah, that will help get your reading count back up. I also highly recommend just really looking at what you do spend time on, because I know I was like, man, I don't have time. But then I'd find myself laying in bed scrolling on Instagram for 3 hours. So really, I had time in my head. I just didn't think I did. So I had to really take account of what I was doing and be like, okay, so instead of just laying on my bed scrolling on my phone or, watching a movie, I could pick up a book for an hour or two before bed. And that's kind of what I started doing. Most of my reading is done after kids go to bed and before I go to bed. Now, some people like to sleep. I guess I'm not one of those people. I am very much the type of person that I probably should sleep more, right? I am very busy all the time. Like, I work 2 jobs, and I'm a mom, and, you know, my kids do stuff, and like, I just have so much going on. But like, for me, those like 2 to 3 hours at the end of the night when everything's quiet, when I'm not working anymore and the kids are asleep, I could go to bed, but that's my time to do whatever I want, whether that be reading or playing a video game or watching a movie. Like, that's my time. And that's a lot of the reason why moms don't sleep very much, because I know I'm not the only one that feels that way. I know I'm not the only mother who's like, but that's my time. Like, I could sleep and then I'm gonna complain in the morning about being super tired and I'm gonna drink 18 cups of coffee, but honestly, that's the only time I get where it's quiet and then it's just for me. And that's just something that you have to decide for yourself. Is that something you want? Is that something you're willing to sacrifice? Or, you know, do you have other time in your day that you can prioritize reading? Because I know for me, bedtime is it. Like, for the most part, I do most of my reading when my kids are asleep. Now, like I said, my kids are getting older. My daughter is in 2nd grade and my son is about to go into preschool. So I do have some extra time. My kids are at the age where they can entertain themselves for a couple hours. They are at the age where I can be like, okay, go play in the yard, or, you know, watch a movie, or, you know, do this, do that, go play in your room, color a picture. Like, they have that level of independence where I don't have to be watching them like a hawk 24/7, like when they were like babies and toddlers, like to make sure they didn't kill themselves, right? So one thing that I'll do is be like, all right, y'all go play outside, and I'll sit on my back porch and I'll read, you know, and kind of read, and then I'll look up and make sure they're alive, and, you know, like, I will use that time while they're kind of playing outside to get an hour or so of reading in. Now, I'm really not sitting there reading for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. Like, I can't do that. That's just not something I can do. I don't have the time to do things like those 24-hour readathons, or where just read for 24 hours. Like, I don't have that kind of uninterrupted back to back to back to back to back time and hours. But that's okay, right? Because I'm still getting reading done. Like, I'm still doing what I enjoy. Another thing is I read when my kids are at sports. So my daughter does gymnastics 2 nights a week, and that is an hour every practice. So that's 2 hours a week. I bring my Kindle, I sit on the bleachers, and I read whatever I'm reading on my Kindle while my daughter's doing gymnastics. I'm still there. I can still look up and see her practice, but I'm also still getting some reading time in, because there's only so many times I can watch her practice a handstand, let's be real. So that, it comes in really helpful. And usually I don't have my son with me when I go to gymnastics. He stays with my husband at the shop. So it's kind of like an hour of like just kind of away from the kids. Like, I'm there, but I'm getting some time in, right? But yeah, as you see, I don't really have a ton of hours to read. I think one of the biggest questions I get asked, not specifically for reading, but like, how do I do everything I do? And honestly, I don't know. Like I said, I don't sleep much. I run on like 6 hours of sleep, usually. And I'm honest about it. I run on 6 hours of sleep. I go to bed around midnight. I wake up around 6 a.m. That is my schedule. I usually try to get some stuff done in the mornings because I work from home quite a bit. Try to get some stuff done in the mornings, get the kids off to school, then I work. I only work part-time at my day job, so I get off, I pick the kids up, and then I'm, you know, cooking dinner and doing stuff and trying to, you know, do family stuff, and then I work. My second job is more like freelancing. It's a blog. I, you know, kind of work at my own pace, so that's really helpful. And, you know, then I make time to read at night. And sometimes I don't make time to read at night. Sometimes I just go to bed. And then sometimes I want to play a video game, and sometimes I want to watch a movie. But honestly, that's something I don't do a lot of. I don't watch a lot of TV. I don't watch a lot of movies. Like, reading and video games are kind of the 2 things that I enjoy and are my pastime. So I prioritize them. And I feel like that's something that you have to decide for yourself. Do you want to prioritize reading? If yes, then I want you to go and just reevaluate where all your time is going. Are you sitting and watching Netflix for 2 hours when you could be reading? Okay, so change that. Maybe sit and watch Netflix for 1 hour and then read for 1 hour. Are you laying in bed at night before bed and scrolling your phone for an hour? If so, pick up your Kindle or pick up a book in a book light and just lay in bed and read, instead of just like mindlessly scrolling your phone. Are your kids older and they can kind of take care of themselves a little bit? Send them out in the yard. Sit there and read a book while they're playing. Give them some independent playtime. Because trust me, sometimes mom needs time away, right? Sometimes you just need stuff for just you. And I feel like that's the biggest struggle with being a mom, is balancing something to do for just yourself and that self-sacrificing mentality that I think all of us have, that make us feel like we have to just give so much to our kids and give all of ourselves to someone else. And honestly, no matter what, you still have to hold on to you, right? You still have to hold on to your hobbies and what you love, because as young as my kids are, I know that one day they'll be gone. Like, one day they'll be grown and they aren't gonna be here loving me, needing me to take care of them and wipe their butts or whatever. So while yes, I want to enjoy the time that I have with them, I don't want to fully self-sacrifice everything that I am until they're 18 and moved out. Like, that's just not it. There has to be a balance. And I think if you want to find more time to read as a mom, that you just find that balance for you. Find what works for you. Even if it's, you can devote an hour a day, 10 minutes a day, whatever it is. Devote whatever you can and whatever you want to, because in the end, it's all very personal, and it's all about your time and what you have going on in your life and just making it work on your own schedule. So hopefully you enjoyed this kind of chatty, more personal video. Yeah, thanks for hanging out, and I will see you next time. Bye.